Hey guys, Kat here from Strings and Things Studios. Something that all string players have to do is change out our strings. And that used to be a really simple task, right? I mean, we could take it to our school teacher or our private instructor or even a music shop. But now, today, with COVID and quarantining and online lessons, it's not that easy. So I'm going to show you at home how to change your strings out. What we need? A new string, or a new set of strings, depending on what you need to change. We need a tuner to get our instrument back in tune, and then we need a graphite pencil, and I'll show you what we need that for once we get rolling. So let's get going! Alright, here is my set of strings. I'm going to change all 4, but you can always just change one out. Here's my tuner, and my graphite pencil. So something to note. If one of your strings broke and your other strings are looking pretty dull, there's a good chance that you should be changing out all 4. Now, if you just snapped one while tuning and your others are fine, then just work on the one. All right, so I'm going to start on the G string. And you want to start by unwinding your fine tuner. So we're going to be turning it to the left. We want lefty-loosey. Now, we don't want to take it all the way out, just enough that we have some wiggle room when we are all done and need to be tuning. I can do a little more. Okay. Now, I am going to go up to the peg, and we're going to unwind it. We're going to turn it towards us, pull the string out. Pull it out of the little groove down there, and trash. Goodbye. Okay, now I am changing the G string. Make sure that your string pack says G. Okay? Take it out of the pack. Something extremely important to note. Do not take all 4 strings off at once. Do it one at a time. I'll explain that a little more later. Okay, we're going to unwind it. Straighten it out a little bit. So, the G string is our thickest string. This is definitely my problem child when it comes to getting my strings in. So you want to have that ball. There's a little ball at the end of that. It has a hole. So you want that hole not facing up. You want it facing sideways, technically. So the ball is going to be facing down. Now we need to get it into that groove. You can give it a little push with your finger to try to get it started. Almost. Let's see. Oh, fail, Cat. Try it again. Push it a little better. There we go. It's in the groove. Give it a little tug. You can see that the ball is pointing down. Yep. Now, this is where our graphite pencil comes into play. We want to rub just a little bit on our bridge, right in the groove where our string is going to go. There you go. Zoomed in. See, we have a little groove there. Just give it a little love with your pencil. That is going to act as a lubricant for your string. Now we're going to go up to the nut of our violin, so that little piece right there, and we're going to put more graphite in that little groove as well. All right, time to string the peg. So I'm going to start by showing you on the outside. We have that nice little tail. I'm going to pull the peg out to show you a better view. Okay, so I'm putting it through the hole. See how I have just a little tail sticking out right there? Now, we're going to twist up and over. If we have tuning pegs that are on the left side of the violin, then we are going to start on the right. So you start the wrap on the right side of our little tail. Keep it rolling. Doot, doot, doot. And we're going to have the next wrap to the left of our tail. So we make a nice little sandwich. That keeps a nice amount of friction and pressure so that our string doesn't unwind. We just keep wrapping to the left. Left. All right. So what I mean by we're wanting to wrap up is we want to wrap it over, not under. I don't know if you've seen those silly toilet paper memes where beard is good and mullet is bad, but it's the same for violin strings. We want to wrap it over. Okay, so I started on the right. We're going to slide the peg in, and we're going to wrap it now on the left. I can see my little tail, and we're just going to keep wrapping. My right hand is keeping constant pressure on that string, and my left hand is pushing in with the peg and up. If we don't push it in, then everything is just going to go and unwind. Okay, so I'm making sure that my string is in the groove at the nut and in the groove on the bridge. Yep, right in that little groovy groove. Okay, now I don't fully tune my strings until I am completely finished. So I'm just going to turn it little by little. You do not want to overwind and crank it up because that actually is going to potentially cause you to break a string again. So I do it little by little, give it a couple plucks, and then at the end, I will do a full tuning because the strings are still stretching. All right. So the next string I'm going to do is our E string. Once again, we're going to loosen our fine tuner. Especially for the E string, we want to have lots of wiggle room with our fine tuner and not have to use our peg quite as much. So it's nice and loose. You don't want to take it all the way out. Slide up. I personally still follow the string. I've been changing strings for 25 years, at least, and I still want to make sure that I am using the correct peg when I am unwinding. Okay, pull it out. Pull it out of the groove. Trash. Goodbye. All right. Check your string pack again. I personally keep my strings in the pack until I am going to be working on them. You never really want to take them all out because then you're going to get confused. All right, same for the E string as for G and D and A. And for viola players, your C string, you want to stick it in the groove, ball pointing down. Now, violinist, for our E string, we had that little piece of plastic there. So that is for our bridge. We want to stick it right in that groove there, and it protects it from our razor sharp E string. Now, without that plastic, it will cut into our bridge and eventually we'll have to replace it. Notice on this bridge, this is a different violin, that there is a piece of parchment over that E string groove. That is in place of our our little green piece of plastic. So we don't need that piece of plastic. You can just slide that bad boy right off. All right. So I've already graphited the bridge. I'm just showing the nut again real quick. I'm going to show you how we string the pegs on the right side. So we stick it through the hole. We have our little tail. Now it's the exact opposite on our right side pegs as is for the left. So we start by winding it one time around on the left side of our little tail. And we're going to cross over to the right so that we are sandwiching our tail. You can kind of see my little tail. There it is. And we're going to continue wrapping on the right side. Okay, there we go. Once again, wrap one time on the left. Keep pressure with your left hand. And we're going to keep twisting. And we're going to go to the right, slide to the right. We want to crisscross, sort of. Sandwich our little tail. Keep wrapping up, keeping constant pressure, pushing in and up with the peg, keeping constant pressure with your other hand holding the string. You don't want to have a loose string when you're wrapping. All right, make sure it's in the groove. Now I'm going to go down and make sure that my little piece of plastic is sitting on the bridge. All right, guys, I'm going to quickly speed through the next two strings. The D string is the same as the G and the A is the same as the E. So as I was saying earlier, we absolutely do not want to take off all four strings at once. We lose the pressure and our bridge will fall over. And sometimes we could then also lose our little sound post on the inside of our violin. We have like a little cylinder piece of wood in there, and you don't want that falling over. That's something that only a luthier can fix. So you might notice that your violin doesn't have 4 fine tuners. That means that you probably are tuning your violin with 3 pegs and your fine tuner on your E string. So you string it on the pegs the exact same, and we also still want to have the little ball facing downwards. If you'd like a video on how to do that, I can definitely make one for you. Just let me know. All right, I'm going to crank these strings up. I'm going to tune it just a little bit. Now, notice my bridge. We want it to be perfectly straight, up and down, and we want it centered and straight on the violin. Okay? So I'm going to quickly tune this. If you'd like to have some help on how to tune with the tuning pegs or with the fine tuners, you can catch my other videos. But once again, I very slowly crank it up until it's in tune. Your strings are going to continue to stretch, possibly even for days. All right, guys, that is how you change your strings on your violin and viola. If you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, kat@stringsandthingsstudios.com, or shoot me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Be sure to subscribe to our channel because I have all kinds of new tips and tricks coming out for your violin, viola, and cello, as well as some really cool new music to learn. All right, have a fabulous day, and I will see y'all soon. Mwah!